welcome to the Boss and Roll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the Boss and Roll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the Boss and Roll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Mo, I am exploring the space of band control in our new post-ban format. This could have been an Up the Beanstalk deck, I'll address that immediately. It actually did start that way, and then I sort of brewed away from it, and it might still be better as an Up the Beanstalk deck, but I want to explore kind of traditional Uro control. The big problem I ran into with it being a Beanstalk deck is that with Eldrazi in the format, you have to play Blood Moon style effects, and it's really hard to win with a Blood Moon in play when your deck requires Domain or UUGG, or I had to build with Fourth Air Lingus in it, which means that you kind of want Blood Moon over Harbinger of the Sea, so you can actually cast that with the Plains and your various mountains when you're under the Blood Moon. And after all that hemming and hawing, I decided to just prioritize solid mana. I get to add a basic forest. I cut the triomes. There's still a Vulcan here for prismatic ending considerations, and I have a Pyroblast in the sideboard. But it is intentional, if not correct, that I'm not playing Beanstalk here. And this is a throwback list to back before Grief, before Beanstalk. This is how we used to build control decks back when we were a country. But it does have some new toys in it. We've got Tamiyo here. We've got Consign to Memory in the main, which helps in one of our hardest matchups, which is Eldrazi. Also useful versus Doomsday and Storm, which are also difficult matchups. And we get the upside of you can just stifle in an Uro ahead of schedule with a Consign. Dress Down does that as well. There's multiple routes to just have a 6/6 sticky permanent 3/3 Uro in play on turn 3. Outside of that, Force of Will, you'd expect that. Lorien Revealed. I got some Planeswalkers because Planeswalkers survive Wrath of the Skies, which is one of the cards that I am excited to play and really the linchpin of even justifying a deck like this one. Also a reason I stepped away from Up the Beanstalk, because Wrath kills your Beanstalks. A Sweeper is basically what you need to compete with Nadu, with all the dorks they have in that deck, the Allosaurus Shepherds, the Birds of Paradise. If they invest in Nomad before Nadu's ready to come down, sweeping up 2 or 3 cards with a Wrath of the Skies is going to be insane. Helps versus Urza Saga matchups, which are difficult for control. If the game goes long enough, could be useful versus Eldrazi, which is kind of what we need in a matchup like that. But I do have multiple big bodies that gain life versus Eldrazi. That's another way to attack them. And Shark Typhoon, just because I'm doing what I want here. And this is a great way to win under a Blood Moon, while also providing value elsewhere along the way. There are 12 main deck answers to an Orcish Bowmaster, a card that I am concerned about playing a deck like this. And I expect Eldrazi to be tough. I expect Nadu to be close. I expect Delver to be pretty positive for me. Red Stompy will be competitive. Various Urza Saga decks I feel okay against. Combo, we're going to go to the sideboard to help with that, but I do have 5 forces and a Consign and Narset in the main, all of which are solid against various types of combo. I have Life from the Loam plus Wasteland that can be a cheese route in any matchup. This is just ultra fair Legacy Magic that has not been playable for over 6 months now, and I'm going to see if I can play it now. Let's get in. This is Mo's Band Control. Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy is having 2 events in early 2025. January 25th, find them in Houston, Texas, and February 1st, find them in Columbus, Ohio. Win your place in history by getting your name on the infamous Buffalo Chicken Dip Trophy, and enjoy delicious Buffalo Chicken Dip while you play. BCDL is one of the premier grassroots tournament organizers in the Legacy community. If you're near Houston or Columbus, check them out. Strongly recommended from me. Sign up through the spicerack.gg links in the video description or through spicerack.gg. I'm on the play in round number 1. I am going to keep this hand. It is perfectly functional and able to see other cards. I hope my opponent has at least a small amount of chill to let me get set up here. If they don't, I might be in trouble, but I could at least brainstorm for some interaction if I need to. I could shuffle a brainstorm with Lorien on my first upkeep. Underground Sea. Could just still be Reanimator. Could be something like Grixis Delver. New metagame shaken out. We know it's not Psychic Frog. Ding, ding, ding. I'm not going to end step Brainstorm aggressively if I don't need to. I think I am going to do it now. If they want to daze this, that's fine. Like, I could play my land first to play around daze. Or I could let them pick up a land and this not really matter. Okay, we've got Entomb resolving. Dumped an Atraxa. Yikes. Well, Reanimate is still legal. Entomb and Reanimate are still cards you could play. They survived the bans. What do I need to do here? I need to brainstorm into another piece of interaction on the next turn. I think Shark Typhoon is, or Prismatic Ending is not going to be a card that matters here. Okay. I'm going to dump that. And Entomb resolving, they know that I didn't have Force, at least before the Brainstorm, or else I would have fought over that. Yep, there's Reanimate. I'm going to fetch a Tundra and Brainstorm in response and hope I have the ability to fight it all here. If they stifle this, I am so in the garbage. Okay. A Tundra, Brainstorm in response. This turns on Daze by casting the Brainstorm. Okay, none of the above. Just regular old Roasted. I am going to put back... And the Teferi bouncing the Atraxa is the closest thing to a plan that I have. Not even a Swords to Plowshares to try to remove the Atraxa. We're just in the garbage. I'm going to put back Basic Island and Lorien revealed. Or I could hide the Teferi. Alright, put back Basic Island, hide the Teferi. Okay, here we go. And they went for Atraxa, which is the correct one versus a control deck compared to Archon. We see Force of Will, Brazen Borrower, Animate Dead, Metamorphosis Fanatic. Yeah, okay, so Force blue card, plus a second round of reanimation. The question becomes, how many hits can I take from Atraxa? And the answer is 2. Because it's just math. They took Animate, Reanimate, Force of Will, Underground Sea, Metamorphosis Fanatic. Well, they didn't take a blue card to go with their Force, but they have 5 other cards in hand. Gotta imagine they have one. And if they're willing to ponder here, then they clearly have even more. And they have a Cleanup Step, which could function as well as Entomb here. Fanatic, Archon. Okay, so they have the full chain. It is no longer even remotely reasonable to try to make this Teferi do anything. Because we know they have Force, presumably a blue card, and there's just a full chain of Metamorphosis Fanatic and Archon of Cruelty coming my way. I think here I just have to ponder. Well, there's the Plow. I still don't think that helps. I'm going to Plow Atraxa now. There's Force pitching Daze. At least I didn't ram Teferi into Daze with that line. I'm still very dead, though. I don't play anything like Terminus, which is what I would need to, air quotes, stabilize. Yeah, reanimate this thing, brings back the other thing. I could discard Uro here. That's kind of a freebie. Okay, I'm going to fetch in the end step. What am I even looking for? Is there an out? Rather, this guy's is not going to get up to 8 this turn. That's for sure. I'm going to fetch Hedge Maze and just kind of pretend I have an out here. Instead of stopping my draw step, I'm just going to make them think about Terminus as much as I can. Okay, now I'm dead. All right, Reanimator. A powerful deck that survived the bans completely. The combo half survived completely intact. Obviously, Psychic Frog, their backup plans are not a lot worse, which means that turn 1 Entomb, turn 2 bottleneck of can they get a monster in is even more important because they're going to be even worse at recuperating from it. White removal generally pretty bad here. Pyroblast could help me win a fight. Consign can stuff an Atraxa or Archon trigger, or a Metamorphosis Fanatic trigger. I actually think Consign is good enough here. Dress Down functions much like Consign does. The conditional small creature removal, not very good. Triumph's a maybe. Teferi does turn off Miracle, which is pretty big here. Uro is my win con. Plow is really good. I might not need a Wasteland here. I do play an extra land. I play 21, and 20 is kind of the responsible number here. Triumph is the body that could challenge Metamorphosis Fanatic if they just start running them off, but Uro's good at that too. Shark Typhoon's really slow. Carpet of Flowers is not without text here. They are, if I could stuff the reanimation part, they are a Dimir Tempo deck where Carpet shines. They are a Daze deck, presumably Wasteland's in there, but I don't actually know anymore. I don't think I saw one that game. Okay, I think I'm going to stop here. Just a little extra interaction that that turn 1 into turn 2 window where the entomb happens, where the reanimate happens, that's where I have to make sure I'm not just miles behind going into my third turn. Okay. I am going to keep this. The Swords to Plowshares is not nothing to me. Veil of Summer is good against a Thoughtseize or a counterspell. Just going to run out this tropical island. I have enough lands that if they want to wasteland me, I'll play that game. Pass to me. Containment Priest. What's up? I'm going to turn off this upkeep stop before I forget it's there. Okay, so I can protect a Swords to Plowshares with Veil of Summer, if that's what I need to do. I could also just ram out Containment Priest, but I don't really want to do that into Daze. They cycled for Basic Swamp. They might try to Harbinger me here, which is a card they play. Pleasure Shredder, let's go. All right. We found the new Psychic Frog. Do I want to fetch a basic Plains? I don't want to, but I'm going to. All right, I'm going to plow the Shredder. Let's get that out of here. Bridging the gap into turn 3, where now I have Containment Priest represented, is a big deal. I could fetch basic Forest if they slam Harbinger and just have all my colors. Rainstorm. I don't want to fetch Savannah with this Misty Rain Forest, because that would leave 2 non-blue sources in play, and most of my cards are blue. Another Shredder. Okay. Frustrating. I think I can deploy Priest here, though. They get to Connive if we fight over this. They've cast 2 spells already, but I haven't. Okay, here I'm going to get the Surveil land. They found Wasteland. That is a land. It's not the land I wanted. I guess I will take it. Just guaranteeing a land drop here is solid. This could also let me... No, the basic plane's messing me up. I was about to say I could stifle in the Uro, but while I do have 4 mana, it's the wrong 4 mana. Okay, Ponder. Here we go. Big old pile of lands. I'm not going to complain about this. I will take them all. And I'm just going to chill. Nothing happening mostly favors me, especially with Priest in play. Okay, here's a Fanatic. I think it's okay for them to have this, because I can put Uro into play that's bigger next turn. The Troll, is this even optional? Up to 1. Okay, so they can decline. They don't have to exile the Troll here. That is a spell for the turn, which means their next Ponder also comes with a Connive. And there's Brainstorm with the Connive. Yeah, I'm just going to stifle in Uro next turn with Veil of Summer still up. We dumped a Wasteland. They dumped Wasteland, played Polluted Delta, so they have correctly identified they can't really take me off mana here effectively. They will get to Connive off of my Uro play. Island, Uro. Make sure to stack this correctly. Gain 3 life, draw a card. Put this Forest into play. Is Forest better than Wasteland? Yes. I consign to memory with Replicate, or do I can beat Force of Will with Veil of Summer. I don't want to open up Daze here. You get to Connive, I get a 6/6. Fetching in response, probably going to get a Surveil. Nope. Okay. Do we have Fatal Push? Is that the play? Connive put away a Troll. And Uro's in. Cool. Now let's play some Magic. Is a 6/6 body enough to win games in the current day Legacy? Let's find out. B-Storm. Uro does not beat their squad in combat. I basically get to decide which of these things I want to kill if they double block, but Uro can just come straight back from the graveyard, which is fine. Barrogoyf. If I had Wastelanded them, this Barrogoyf might be a turn behind, but Uro also challenging that thing. Okay, I need some removal spells. In for 3 with Shredder. I drew the 1 fetch land in my deck that does not get Mystic Sanctuary. Just good deck building. If I attack, I gain 3, they take 6. I take roughly infinity on the backswing. I think I want to move this game forward. I'm going to attack. Okay, I drew a land that gets Mystic Sanctuary. That's a start. And might as well Wasteland. We're here. We're doing stuff. Try to constrict what I can. I'm going to take a pretty large hit this turn, but if they cast a blue or black spell, I can fetch the Sanctuary, buy back the Plow, Veil in response, then do a bunch. They are correctly just going straight to combat. And I don't have a cantrip available. I'm not going to block. Here come the beats. They get to mill 4, and they found a Brazen Borrower. That one does turn on my Veil of Summer, but is effective interaction besides. This card has Flash. Okay, I'm going to respond. Am I going to respond? No. Okay. Containment Priest is in my hand. Playing another Ledger Shredder. They've cast 2 spells already this turn. I'll let you connive first. Dumped an Animate Dead. Okay, I will replay my Containment Priest, a card with Flash. We're back. A end step. I'm going to get back the Swords to Plowshare. Is going to need that. Sanctuary, Plow. A 4/8. Barrowglyph is the one I have to plow. I'm going to start with an attack. Brainstorm's pretty strong. The connives are concerning. Okay, I still have to start with Brainstorm, though. Dress Down. Does that do anything? It makes Barrowglyph smaller. I could Lorien Revealed and just reload. Tundra's definitely going back. I would like to shuffle this pile, but I'd also like to cast Lorien Revealed. Dress Down would find Lorien Revealed. Okay, I'm going to put back Lorien, play Windswept Heath, and what happens if I pass here? I can Dress Down this and kill it with Containment Priest, plow one of these, not trigger Connive. Okay, I'm passing the turn. Dress Down does turn off Containment Priest for the turn, though, which has its own set of problems. Yeah, Wrath of the Skies would have been good here. I'll say it. I'll own it. Ponder did not shuffle. Another Ponder, they connive twice. Discarded Underground Sea to the big one. Discarded Reanimate to the small one. Now they get Ponder. Okay, they're going to attack. I'm going to Dress Down, which draws Lorien Revealed. A Force of Will, Veil of Summer this, which will connive twice. I was hoping the Dress Down would resolve, so future spells would not trigger connive, but here we go. They'll still end up with only 1 card in hand at the end of all this, but if it's Fatal Push, I'm suddenly in a lot of trouble. Okay, the Veil worked. Good. Now I'm going to fetch before Dress Down draws a card. Get Tundra in here. Force of Will fizzles. Dress Down resolves. Barrowglyph's a 0/1. The second Priest. Ooh, what does this do? Nothing yet. If I block here and plow the big Ledger Shredder, I take 7, go to 3. Okay. End step, Dress Down dies. I'm going to play another Priest. Let's just get it out there. Check some boxes. Another Uro. Not exactly thrilling. Bowmaster is a card that would obliterate this Lorien Revealed line. Do they have room for Bowmaster with these Ledger Shredders? I'm not sure. I don't want to find out. I'm going to attack with Uro first. Brainstorm, okay. We're getting some extremely unfortunate Magic Online lag. These are the decks that I stopped playing because of the clock. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think white's the most important color in my deck right now. There we go. Play out Flooded Strand, pass the turn. I don't want to trigger Connive if I don't have to. Okay, I'm going to plow Ledger Shredder now. And we've reached something resembling stability. A Wasteland. They played it out. I mean, Wasteland is Wasteland, so maybe that doesn't mean anything. I'm not ready to block yet. 2 life is plenty. I haven't forgotten about Brazen Borrower. Draw for turn. Uro, get in. I'm not going to put any of these lands in. Don't need them. Brainstorm. Teferi Time Raveler. Let's go. The homie. Okay. Teferi Time Raveler is on the stack. They have to Brazen Borrow now if they're going to do it. If they have Hardcast Force of Will in their hand, that's mostly fine. Brazen Borrower in response, the expected bare minimum play. Fetch away those 2 Flooded Strands. Get another Tundra. I'm going to bounce Metamorphosis Fanatic. That one costs more and does less. All right, get the hooks in. Let's go. Narset. Activate. Force of Will in the hand. Okay, here we go. 26 cards in my deck, 12 minutes on my clock. I think we got this. Yeah, okay, cool. That was a great game. Uro just soloing. Okay, Wrath of the Skies or Prismatic Ending are cards that I would like to entertain again. Triumph of St. Catherine, also a card that would have been good at all points in that game. The dress down did kill a Barrogoyf, but so do all of these other things that I'm thinking about. All right, sorry, Shark Typhoon. You know I love you. Maybe I shave Force and Negation. They were still on Entombs and Reanimates, but if they have all this other stuff too, not all these cards are going to be able to come in. And Containment Priest is my best card against their unfair plan, which Wrath of the Skies would destroy. Maybe it's a Triumph and 2 endings, just a little extra white removal and a body that can tangle. And Uro just did it that game. Stifle it in, 6/6 body, never block, always attack, draw your card, gain your life. Maybe I don't need triple Consign. Consign does straight up counter Animate Dead, a card that we saw still in their deck. Yeah, I think 1 Triumph and some extra removal is enough that I get to keep my Consign. Let's do it. Uh-oh. 1 lander, but okay, I am going to keep. Pseudo 1 lander, Lorien Revealed, making this a keep, and then a mountain of white cards. On the draw, this is tough. On the play, I would actually feel pretty good about this game. All right, there's a land. They didn't entomb in the end step. Good news. We'll breathe a small breath of air. Ledger Shredder resolves. I don't think I can play on basics here. Tundra, Lorien Revealed. I should have fetched Savannah and then gotten Tundra with this. Yeah, that would have been better. That would have been more white. Okay. Sequencing error. Lock it. It happened. I'm just going to plow the Shredder before it does anything. Second Shredder. Let's go. No second land, though. Interesting. Force of Will. Big game. I will play out my Volcanic Island because I'm going to plow. And I want to be able to Veil of Summer and still play around days. Now I have a Ponder. Let's get out of this. Nice. Okay. Uro, Basic Forest, Uro. This hits my land drop. If they wasteland my white right now, my game isn't great. But they did not have any land last turn, much less that one. Okay, let's go. Teferi. Put it in the bank. Get the shields up. No miracles, no counter spells. Entomb in response. Don't love it. I'm actually going to let it resolve, though. I can counter or reanimate, and I have Containment Priest starting next turn. Like, they can't play instants. I have Veil of Summer for Thoughtseize, and I can still Force of Will to survive 1 turn until Containment Priest comes down, rather than forcing this into him right now. They dumped Archon. I am going to draw the card right away off Teferi. I haven't completely written off Bowmaster as a card that they could have. Reanimate, Force of Will, pitching Uro. If they have Swamp second Reanimate, that would be a massive tilt. It could have been played around, but I am trying to get the most out of my cards here. And they had nothing of the sort. Let's go. Plus Teferi, play Uro. I could play Priest. I don't need to worry about interaction because of Teferi. And next turn, Uro starts doing stuff. Now I hope they do have a Reanimate. Oh, Orcish Bowmaster is confirmed. All right, this card is in their deck. Getting chips on Teferi. I am going to fetch here. I think I'm going to get my Hedge Maze. Drop. I'll keep it. I'm still playing on 1 white mana, which I don't love. Okay, green, green, blue, blue. I miss saying that. Green, blue, blue. Remember when we used to just say that all the time? Okay, I'm considering both Mystic Sanctuary and Life from the Loam as I exile to Uro. Teferi, pretty awkward here versus the Bowmaster, but they would have to lose the Bowmaster if they want to finish off Teferi in combat. There was a pause in their draw step that wasn't there every turn. I think they just drew a Fanatic that they couldn't Miracle. Oh yeah, they want the smoke. Okay, here we go. I'm going to block Orcish Bowmaster, and I'm going to flash in Priest. Oh shit, I could have just... God damn it. Well, I could have just blocked Bowmaster with Priest and blocked this and kept my Teferi. I'm being too clever. Alright. Getting rusty over here. Okay. I just wanted Priest to resolve with the Teferi, but I had the option to just have it all, and chose not to. Good stuff. But now they have to kill Containment Priest and cast Reanimate. Oh, there's half the battle. I have some concerns. Wish I had played better. Story of my life. Okay, I can get back Swords to Plowshares, which doesn't really matter. I exiled my Force of Will, which would matter a bit. I'm just going to attack. Put in the Misty Rainforest. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is enough to Mystic Sanctuary back the Plow. And then Lorien revealed it all back. Because Veil of Summer plus Plow also handles Archon of Cruelty. Ooh, Life from the Loam actually works here, but I'm just going to pass the turn. Animate Dead. Okay, I'm going to Veil of Summer in response. Okay, cool. So Animate can happen. Archon targets, so nothing happens here. And then I plow the Archon out of play. And we move on with life. Take my 2. They are not successfully racing Uro here. They can't counter this. We got the GGs in the chat. Yeah, Ledger Shredder actually looked pretty solid there. It's no Psychic Frog, but nothing else is. As far as blue creatures that are respectable on the board, that keep your force count up, that keep the fair plan intact, Ledger Shredder and Tamiyo are the 2 best arguments I've heard so far. But all in all, we did it. We outmuscled Reanimator with Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, which is all I wanted out of life. On to the next round. Your path to the Pro Tour starts here. Don't miss Magic Spotlight Foundations, January 3rd through 5th, 2025 at SCGCon Atlanta. Kick off the new year with Magic's most exciting new event. Compete in the brand new Foundation Standard format with $50,000 in prizes, 8 Pro Tour Aether Drift invites, and it's the only place to get the exclusive, borderless Terror of the Peaks promo card with art by the beloved Richard Kane Ferguson. All main event participants will get the exclusive Terror of the Peaks, but the top 128 will also earn a foil version of this breathtaking promo. Your path to the Pro Tour starts here, but only if you're part of the action. Come join me for Magic Spotlight Foundations at SCGCon Atlanta, January 3rd through 5th. Your sign-up link is in the video description. On the play in round 2, with a hand that is fine, I'm in. This Brainstorm has to do a lot of work. Pretty far away from Wrath of the Skies, because I'll probably fetch Hedge Maze first. Teferi needs white, though. Maybe I won't. We'll see. My plan is Flooded Strand pass, and then we'll see what my opponent's up to. If they just play, like, Noble Hierarch, I might have to prioritize white. Volcanic Island. Faithless Looting, okay. Are we hooked on Phoenix? What's going on over here? This was always legal in Legacy. Does my opponent know that? Oh, wow, it's just Dredge. Well, I wish I had known it was Dredge, because I would have definitely played differently. Dredge, generally, the way that you attack them is by force of willing literally whatever you can. Because at some point, they don't care about spells anymore. Okay, I'm going to start with Brainstorm and hope that I find some mana. Okay, I did. Now what? I might just have to Wasteland them to commit them to slow dredging. If they get to resolve a breakthrough or some shit, I am in trouble. I'm going to put Triumph 2 back. May or may not want that by the time we get there. And then Wrath on top of that. I am going to go for the Wasteland. They have a Thug. It milled 2 more Thugs. Bridge from Below, very scary for a deck like mine, but I do have Wrath of the Skies to stabilize. Oh no, the second land. The cursed second land. Basic Island. Otherworldly Gaze. This is not as good as some of the cards they might play. It's still good, though. I think I am in the Force of Will, literally anything camp here. Then I'm drawing Wrath. And I probably cannot afford Triumph. I guess we'll see what this turn looks like. But I don't think just a 5/5 with stats is what I need out of this game right now. It dredged, Cabal Therapy, a second Bridge, and Golgari Grave Troll. Oh wow, they just didn't do anything? Maybe this is exactly what I want then. Alright. Draw. Miracle Trigger. Get Tundra. Try to put a big body into play. Okay, so they don't have a spell, they don't have a land, they are slow dredging. Triumph will not last very long against Bridge from Below tokens if they start generating them. There's a Poxwalker. As soon as they hit Narcomoeba, I'm in trouble, so Swords to Plowshares is an important object here. Teferi Time Raveler is a card I could play. I'm not convinced it's good, though. Yeah, I can't afford for them to hit a Narcomoeba and get the Poxwalkers chaining, so I am going to set a stop in their draw step in case I need to plow something. Okay, didn't happen. Good news. Do I want to dress down just for the cantrip? I think I do. And I'll just end step it because the creature that I could draw is Uro. And doing that end step or main phase actually matters a bit. Hey, there's that boy. Attack with Triumph. Little risky here to shove this, but I like a high roll, and this does put lethal on board. Force pitching to Fairy is live, but Force of Will is not what this game's going to be about. They have 2 therapies, 2 bridges. They missed. No Narcomoeba in the top 35 cards of their deck. Wow, okay. So, Legacy Dredge, people are innovating like crazy. It's possible this list just doesn't have Narcomoeba in it. I would not understand that personally, but people are doing stuff. And I honestly have no idea if they just got super unlucky or if that's how it is. Okay, cool. We stole game 1 versus Dredge somehow. We saw Breakthrough. That's enough for me to Pyroblast. All the graveyard hate obviously comes in. Triumph did turn the corner pretty well there. We saw Lion's Eye Diamond, but after turn 1, that's not going to matter. I don't think Teferi matters. Prismatic Ending, not really what I'm about here. Not into Teferi. Narset's not good either. Consign to Memory. We did see Ox of Agonis go by. There could be a turn where, like, consigning a Poxwalker return trigger matters a lot, or even a Bridge from Below, make a zombie. Like, if we're 1 zombie away from death, that could matter. Shark Typhoon, secret weapon against Dredge, because you do make a 0/0 shark for 2 mana. It is briefly in play, then it dies. So for 2 mana, you could kill all Bridge from Belows and draw a card uncounterably. Definitely in for Shark Typhoon here. And I wasn't convinced about the Triumph when I first saw it, but just having a body to close the game where the slow Dredge wasn't good enough mattered. Maybe I'm just out on Narset, because they don't actually draw any cards once they get going. They replace them all with Dredges. They're not going to attack my mana. Maybe Light from the Loam is worse here. I still like Plows to hit things like Poxwalker or Prized Amalgam. Okay, this makes enough sense to me that I'm going to go with it. Okay, I don't love this, but it's not bad enough for me to mulligan. I'm going to Force of Will basically whatever their first play is and then waste their land and hope that that buys me enough time. Opponent's on 6. Can't waste that land. But I am getting a turn. I'm going to show them the Volcanic Island, make you think about Pyroblast. Probably Otherworldly Gaze in the end step. It's enough to force for me. I clearly don't have Pyroblast. I don't want 2 forces though, like the 1 is about where you need to be, and then you have to actually beat what they do. I could have forced twice. Lion's Eye Diamond, maybe forcing twice was right. Am I dead? They've passed the turn. Okay. I'm going to Brainstorm. Just need to do something. Put back Basic and Trop. I'm going to Ponder off of a Tundra, I think. White is the most exciting cards I could find. Or I could get Trop now and then be able to Ponder into White next turn. I think that's better. Swords to Plowshares, Lurine Revealed. This is not what I want. I want Containment Priest. I want Shark Typhoon. I found a Force of Will. We're back to life. If I counter the Otherworldly Gaze, I'm so weirded out. They just haven't done anything yet. Okay, Force Pitching Ponder. Narset is my queen now. The runway is clear. If they draw a Faithless Looting or a Breakthrough, they could just rip it. Cephalid Coliseum. A second LED. Is Narset actually going to do something in a game against Dredge? Is that possible? I'm just going to tap out for the cards I have. This is what we do. They don't have a Dredger yet, and their deck is full of draw effects if they don't have a Dredger. Wrath of the Skies get in my belly. Use it or lose it on these LEDs. Okay, they dump their hand. They just have Grave Troll, and the Cephalid Coliseum will be on. I could have Wastelanded it. Sad. Cabal Therapy. They know they can hit Wrath of the Skies here. And they could just flip their whole deck, actually. Yeah, I guess just Wasteland on Cephalid Coliseum plays around this line because they wouldn't have had Threshold at the time they needed it, and then they're on Slow Dredging. They did immediately hit Ox, which doesn't mean my play was correct, but it would not have worked. Yeah, they can Dredge 3 times here, and then another 3 times off Ox. There's Anger. We probably just lose on the spot now. The whole squad has Haste. Narset's definitely not getting another turn, and I probably won't either. Dread Return, seen in the deck. Yeah, at this point, I'm just looking at their deck. Yeah, they named the card that they saw face up. Genius stuff. Genius level play. Ox of Agonis can still be cast off the Lion's Eye Diamond. There is another Cabal Therapy and a Dread Return here. They can make a lot of Zombos. Dread Return targeting Grave Troll. Is this lethal already? I'm not counting creatures. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Okay. You got it. Yeah, that didn't go how I wanted. Okay, the Null Rod would have been good that game, but also how many games are going to go to turn 4 before there's action? Uro also blows up bridges on arrival on the front half because it dies. Consign to Memory counters Lion's Eye Diamond. And I am on the play. I do feel like I want at least one sweeper in the deck. Maybe against this build, Swords to Plowshares is a pipe dream, and I need to do a lot better than that. Just contain them entirely, because they don't seem to have amalgams or Icarids. They're on Poxwalker, Bridge from Below. Okay, +1 Consign to Memory. Pyroblast is here. Surgical Extraction. Haven't seen that card yet. I'm in. It might not be enough, and they might just play around it. All of these things are possible, but I'm in. I'm happy to see it. And I'm just going to cast Ponder right now off of Tundra. 3 lands, one of them's a waste. I think this is fine. I do need to have mana to cast my spells. I could brainstorm away some of this stuff, set up the Triumph if I have enough time. Scalding Tarn, Basic Island, Faithless Looting, hit 2 Dredgers. Okay, I am just going to pass the turn. I'm going to have to save my Surgicals for like Poxwalker or Bridge from Below, neither of which were hit here. There's nothing I actually want to extract from this graveyard right now. Okay, this resolves just snapping it off. If they're a sniper and name Surgical, they got me. If they name Fairy Macabre, which is more common in the meta, if they name Containment Priest, which is probably the scariest card. Yeah, they did name Containment Priest. That's not the one I have, but now they know about the Surgical. Passing the turn, I'm definitely going to brainstorm here. Lots of cards I don't want kicking around. Drew both Wastelands, don't love that. If I put back Wasteland and Hedge Maze, I could fetch the Hedge Maze immediately and get more selection. Yo! I was just going to say it would be sick to find a Containment Priest. And we did it. Okay, I can take out their only Dredger here and see their hand while I do it. I'm going to go for that right now. Just go after Thug. If they try to draw cards in response, I can flash in the Priest. Gaze, Satoru. This Thug comes out. Breakthrough. They can't cast this. There's 1 Underground Sea in the deck to get that. They can Otherworldly Gaze. Okay. Good to know. But they can't interact with a Containment Priest here. That's the important thing. They hit 2 Golgari Grave Trolls and another Gaze. That was just like the full Ancestral Recall. A Narcomoeba on the stack. Let's shut it down. They can Gaze over top of this in response. Okay, I should have just played the Gaze. They do get a Poxwalkers. I can plow that, though. Yeah, Dredge is tricky and not a big part of the metagame. I'm doing my best to figure out how this game actually works. Okay, they hit another Poxwalkers. Narcomoeba just stays in the graveyard. And I'm going to get Savannah and plow their creature. And they're just done. Okay, sweet. They can't beat the Containment Priest from here. Nice. All right. Weird, difficult match, but understanding how Dredge's key cards like Bridge from Below and Breakthrough, Lion's Eye Diamond actually work, you can pick them apart with control decks. Cool. On to the next one.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round number 3, Island Ponder Keep. I don't know what my opponent's doing yet, or what I need to do, but I would like some additional action generically. Okay, here we go. Force of Will help me survive the turn, and Prismatic Ending can kill a thing if they play a thing. And that's all we need. Flooded Strand, with crazy art I've never seen. Modern Horizons 3 showcase version, cool. A Tameo, glad I have that Prismatic Ending floating around. I could get basic Plains here, or I could get Savannah and really open it up. This could be a control deck where I don't care about Savannah. It could be a Wasteland deck where it matters a lot. I'm just going to play around it. I have Teferi and Narset I can deploy off of this volcanic island without opening myself up to Wasteland. I'll just prioritize that sort of thing. My own Tamiyo. Am I worried about days? I'm just going to go in on Teferi here. Just having Teferi in play makes life so easy. Just a cheat code. Your opponent has to play Hearthstone and you get to play Magic. Spell Pierce. You Jagoff. Okay, I'm not going to fight over Teferi. I will take the 1-for-1 exchange, even though I am down on mana from the exchange. Decks with Tamiyo, Spell Pierce, Meticulous Archive. This could be like a Stoneblade list. They might have their own Teferi this turn. They kept the card with Meticulous Archive and then did not interact any further. All right, Narset, your shot. She's in. I'm going to activate her. Brainstorm or another Prismatic Ending. Brainstorm leaves up Force of Will. All right, I'm going to take Brainstorm and play out my Tamiyo. This could be Dreadnought, I suppose. If I knew it was Dreadnought, I would have fought harder over Teferi. It's really hard to put a Dreadnought into play with Teferi around. Okay. Well, good chance. Almost certainly Dreadnought at this point, but I'm holding Wrath of the Skies and Force of Will. I just need to come up with a white source, and I don't care about any number of Dreadnoughts. I would care a lot about Null Drifter. Okay, Dreadnought's in. Second Dreadnought. Okay, we're looking for a white source here. Wasted me off red. A little bit of a risk taken here. Not really, though. Easy game. Always had it, as they say. All right, activate Narset. Ponder, Brainstorm, Shark Typhoon. I do love a Shark Typhoon. Do I want to reveal that to them? I could just take Ponder. Okay, I'll take Ponder. Oh, wait. If I... Can I save my Tamiyo here? Not really. It's just going to die and take the clue token with it. If I Brainstorm into the white source, that lets me have everything. However, if I miss on the white source from Brainstorm, I'm just dead in a spot where I could be otherwise stable. Okay, I am not going to F around and find out here. I'm just going to take my medicine and kill my Tamiyo. And I think on the back end of that, I would prefer to still have Ponder around. Okay, Ponder is the keep. Cycle Lorien revealed for Tundra. An attack with Tamiyo for no reason at all. Maybe they'll pitch Solitude and kill it. Couldn't get them on the hook for all that. Okay, here we go. Wrath of the Skies with Force of Will backup. They will need 2 pieces of interaction, but if they have it, they win. Daze, frustrating. Force pitching Ponder. Oh, they did have it. All right, GG. Cool. I could have fought that differently, but I think it ends up mostly the same. I guess maybe the Daze isn't as good a turn earlier. Yeah, fighting over the Teferi would have been something I would have done if I had known about it. All right. They had Dress Down, Double Dreadnought, Double Protection. I am not going to lose sleep over that. And Wasteland. They needed the Wasteland as well. Or else Daze doesn't work there. So they just had a 5 or 6 card sequence. That's fine. Consigned counters Dreadnought itself. Also Null Drifter. The weapon of my enemy is being adopted. I'm not going to dress this deck down. Wrath of the Skies is phenomenal. Force Negation is mid. Teferi's insane. Plow's great. I could take or leave Triumph. I do have to win the game somehow, but I think I can figure that out on my own. Tamiyo's good. We saw Tamiyo out of them as well. Narset might be a little mid, a little clunky. And these Shark Typhoons not pulling their weight, I'm going to be honest. Here we go. I like this spread. I'm going to keep. I'm just going to stick this carpet on turn 1 immediately. Just make this part of the game. They've got a Flooded Strand, a Tundra. They have Prismatic Ending. Then we're just 1-for-1 here. Still got lands to play. It's fine. Ponder. I'm not going to play around Daze because I don't care if they Daze this. Volcanic Island has arrived with Brainstorm under it. Okay, I will take this Volcanic Island and draw the Brainstorm next turn. This is my only red source in the deck and my only red card in the deck. If they just Wasteland this, whatever, I guess. And I'm just going to hit my land drops and be patient. I'll make them come to me. I will Pyroblast a Dress Down in the end step here. And you could wait to counter the dress down when the Dreadnought's on the stack and get a 2-for-1 that way, but the dress down also draws a card. Ponder, shuffle, no play. Sure. Brainstorm time. Uro is great. Mystic Sanctuary is bad. Put back this Misty Rainforest. And I'm going to go Tundra Uro, drop in the Rainforest. Trigger. You want to stifle this? I would let you. They might just plow here. Didn't do it. Cool. Lorien Revealed is online, if I don't have to Force of Will. Doorkeeper Thrall. Alright, fine. I will continue to fight this. I'm just not ready to beat 2 Dreadnoughts. If this was Plow, I would have let it resolve, but they got me for the 2-for-1. Wasteland. They can take me off green or red here. I was going to fetch Edge Maze anyway. Stifle would be annoying right now. Edge Maze is in. Didn't stifle me. That's good news. I'll always take a Brainstorm. And I'll Brainstorm right now. Life from the Loam. Are you kidding me? Let's go. Put back Uro and Ending. Life from the Loam, target my 2 lands. And I'll play the Misty back out. 4th mana, slapping it off real quick. Null Drifter. I can counter both halves of this, or I could just counter the creature. By the time the creature resolves, it's too late to fight over it. I'm going to counter... Well, the creature... Oh, this is so awkward. I can't Prismatic Ending this creature anyway. If I fetch, that opens up Daze. I think that's okay. I'm going to get Tropical Island, or do I want Savannah? I have enough white. I'm going to get Tropical Island. And I'm going to cast with Replicate on both. This does mean they could Daze to save either side of this, but I can't consign the consign once the Null Drifter's already in play. Cool. Wait, I'm going to draw for my turn and then cast Uro. Hey, Moto bugged this right back to where I wanted it. Green, green, blue, blue. Respecting the Life from the Loam here. Uro's in. Do I dredge Loam? I could. I don't think I want to. I'd rather just have spells. Ponder. I love spells. Shark Typhoon. It's here. Force of Vigor is here as well. This is a pretty good spread of cards. I'll put the Force in my hand and just pass. I know I can't use it, but I'm drawing some goods. Wasteland can take me off red, taking me off double white instead. Okay. Dreadnought, you're in there. This is the fairest, dirtiest 2-for-1 Dreadnought possible, where Prismatic Ending shines. The top card of my deck is Force of Vigor. Even if they force blue card this, or they only have 1 card, they can't. All right, cool. Yeah, I could have attacked and tried to kill that again. Nice. That one went a lot better. I don't think I'm changing anything here. We now know about Doorkeeper Thrall, but we saw white mana could have deduced it anyway. Not a huge deal. Narset does turn off Null Drifter, a card that we've now also confirmed being in the list. Consign to Memory was a hero there. I could switch Shark Typhoon for Narset. I will do that. Someday, Shark Typhoon, you'll have your moment. Carpet of Flowers, again in the opening grip. I will keep my hand. Multiple answers to stuff available. We have now seen Stifle. We know it is a card that they play, which is something I have to think about with my fetching. With them on the play, I'm not going to run Carpet into Daze. Okay, we've got a Wasteland now, which means this is going to be a pretty important Carpet of Flower to resolve. Am I prepared to Force of Will a Stifle? I think the answer is yes. I'm going to fetch. A Force Pitching Consign, and we did it. Okay. Tropical Island, Carpet of Flowers. This carpet will immediately cast Ponder, and a Force of Will and a basic island. I'll take them both. Okay, we'll see now that Carpet's in play if they want to use this Wasteland or if they want to save it for mana. Oh, they just pass back to me. That's the best case scenario. I'm going to make blue and cast this Narset, leaving up the basic. I'm not trying to bluff anything. I actually have Consign to Memory in my hand. Narset's in there. Grab a Brainstorm, see Wasteland, and 2 mana sources go to the bottom. Okay. I am not going to fight the Dress Down this time. I can consign a Dreadnought or Null Drifter on the stack. This could also just be a desperate cantrip Dress Down. Counter this. And I do have a Plow for a second round. Cool, they didn't have a second round. Even better. So their hand is probably white cards, maybe Null Drifter. I could Brainstorm, then use Narset to clear the Brainstorm, but I actually like all the cards I have. So I'm just going to activate Narset first. A Force of Will, another Brainstorm, another Lorien. I'll take the Brainstorm. And then I could cast it with this mana. Cool. Lands. These lands represent the Lorien revealed in my hand. Put back Sanctuary, and I can float Plow on top. Okay, passing the turn. Their hand could also be like Brainstorms and Ponders. That's another thing that Narset has turned off. Tamiyo. I'm ready for that. They draw the Plow for turn. Yes, make white. Plow the Tamiyo. A Mystic Sanctuary is the top card on my deck. Let's change that. Do I need basics? No, I think I'd rather have a white source. Ponder. Wasteland Teferi is really interesting, but these cards are all great. Just going to Wasteland this Volcanic Island. They haven't done anything in a long time, and this does turn off my carpet, but what are they going to do? Waste me down to 0 permanents? This turns off Daze, Pyroblast, Dress Down, Stifle. I would say worth it. Here's Teferi. They could have Force of Will. That is in the range, and they're just don't want to play against it anymore. All right, yeah. Just stuff their combo, and they never got off the ground there. Classic Control. On to the next one. Still undefeated. The Bosch and Roll channel is proudly partnered with The Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in round number 4. Island Ponder. Let's go. Opponent's on 7. I'm missing some colors here. You know, most of them. Oh, okay. Mystic Forge is not illegal. It just doesn't have Vexing Bauble anymore, and this is definitely going to name Wasteland, which is a shame because it's in my hand and it would have been good. Please get clever. No. Okay, so I'm in the market for a Force of Will. Oh man, almost had the Wastelock. All right, Force of Will and Prismatic Ending are cards I want here. That's none of the above. Shuffle. Found basic planes. We might be dead. Here we go. Karn resolves, and my life is pain. Are they going to go for a crazy win condition or just lock me out with coding? This is an exciting test of the new post-ban format, though, because Vexing Bauble made this deck unbeatable for exactly this style of deck. And although they do have a great start here, caught me without Force of Will, they're probably going to win. However, it is not completely just over. And my sideboard has a chance of doing anything. A Brainstorm needs to be big here. Yikes. All right. I've seen enough. We're just going to be locked out by this liquid metal coating. Okay, Force of Vigor, a card that was banned before. Null Rod comes in. I think Harbinger probably plays here. Consign to Memory I like. Swords to Plowshare is less important. Wrath of the Skies could catch stuff like Pithing Needle. Teferi matters very little. It is a generic answer to stuff they might have. But so is Wrath of the Skies, Prismatic Ending, Force of Vigor, Consign to Memory. Yeah, I don't think Teferi is my game plan against the deck with no instance. They have Kozilek's Command, but no, like, interactive instance. I should probably assume I have to beat Defense Grid here. They saw blue mana. Do I go 0 Plow? Do I need Triumph? Yeah, maybe Triumph is not what I want here. Triumph can clap a Karn extremely hard, but this is actually a good one for Shark Typhoon. Leave up your mana if they don't make you use it. Get a creature. Dress Down versus the Saga part of the deck is fine. I like Tamiyo. Narset shuts off the One Ring. I like that. Wasteland is actually good if they don't turn it off. I'm bringing in my Harbinger, so I need my basics. Ponder might be too slow. That's something you can do. Okay, I'm going in. I will keep this. I have a turn 1 play. I have a Wasteland if they don't have the needle, and I have force backup with another force in the tank. I will just deploy my Tamiyo and pass. So far, they've seen Island, Ponder, Tundra, Tamiyo out of my deck, and Brainstorm. They don't really know what I'm about yet. Lotus Petal, Nexus, Soul Guide Lantern, my Uros. They're in trouble. Consigned to Memory, that's a good one. Tamiyo get in. I am going to Wasteland them as well. Take out that Planar Nexus. Ancient Tomb, I now have a 1-for-1 answer with something like Defense Grid. Manifold Key's not my fight. Voltaic Key, also not my fight. Opponent is begging for death versus a Wrath of the Skies. Okay, this locks up 3 mana for Narset next turn. Or I could just draw a card with my Clue. Good chance they're going to test my Consigned to Memory this turn, though. And I'm going to have to spend some mana. Lotus Petal, this is the critical 4 mana to start casting spells in their deck. Boseiju, 2 cards left in hand. With all the rings, this is still a no. Alright, counter this. Or with all the keys. There was some argument to maybe let it resolve, cycle for my 3rd land, play Narset, ignore it, but they could draw so many cards right now that sucks. And I'm actually going to get Hedge Maze and try to hit my 3rd land naturally. Wasteland, that's not bad either. Alright, Wasteland, you're on top. Let's go. I could just use the Wasteland to cast Narset. So I still have Force Blue card back. And these aren't the lands I want to waste specifically. Yeah, I'm going to cast Narset this turn. Start getting these hooks in. Found Wrath of the Skies and Consigned to Memory and Force of Will. Basically just the 3 best cards in my deck. How do I want to use them? I don't have the 2nd white, but I can get it easily. Yeah, I think it's Wrath. That does, once again, Smoked by Tamiyo. This might just be bad deck building. I think I'm going to take the Consign and try to get Tamiyo flipped and then figure it out later. Grim Monolith, that's a lot of mana, but that's not what I'm worried about. That just justifies my decision not to Wasteland them. Oh, sick. Exiling my graveyard for reasons that are unclear. They made a mana like they were going to draw a card, but that also doesn't work. So they may have misclicked their way into actually doing a correct thing. Alright, Manifold Key, last card. I would like to get Tamiyo into Planeswalker mode so I can Wrath of the Skies this opponent. Life from the Loam. That's interesting. I could get them into a Wastelock, but that really doesn't matter with Grim Monolith around. I'm just going to bank another Force of Will. And I'll attack with Tamiyo, make another Clue. I'm just going to crack a Clue main phase. See if I can hit a land and flip Tamiyo. We did it. Cool. With double Force in hand, I don't mind tapping out. I'm going to get Savannah. That rounds out all my colors. Found Loam. Okay. Pass. Urza Saga. Held this Wasteland. Like a boss. Wasteland that Saga. Plus Tamiyo. I could just Loam here. I'd end up going to clean up, though, and losing some cards. I don't think I need to do that right now. Yeah, I'll just represent make a 2/2 or hardcast Force of Vigor. And I can Loam the Wasteland back just at any point if they find a card I care about. Okay, gonna deploy the mighty Shark Typhoon. Get the beats coming. Hit a land drop. Next turn I draw half my deck. I'm going to try to win this game while revealing as little as possible. I don't want them to see the Loam. I don't want them to see the Force of Vigor. They've already seen 2 Consigns. I'm in hardcast Force mode at this point. If they ever play a card I care about. I'll crack this Clue. I'm going to stop there. I actually just don't need more cards in my hand, which is a weird thing to say, but is true. And I suppose I will draw half my deck now. And I can't imagine they ever do anything again. I could just stuff in this Uro to win the game faster. Is my other Shark Typhoon in the hand? Okay. Dress down. Uro. And this will just win the game faster. Without showing them anything else. Not seeing the Null Rod, not seeing the Wrath of the Skies. Planar Nexus is their play. Kudos to my opponent for playing it out. Attack with Uro. They can see that I have a basic forest, I guess. Hey, they can't tap Ancient Tomb anymore. I don't know what card in Magic could help them here. Certainly not that one cast into the Consigned to Memory that they already knew about. They tried. Sometimes that's all we can do. Okay, now we got to get one on the draw. That's how I want the game to look, with them doing nothing for 100 turns while I just have my deck in my hand. That sounded great. I think I'm just going to submit the same deck. And Ponder and Triumph and Teferi are cards that could be in my deck, but kind of like what I got. I did show them the dress down to kill them faster. I didn't really have to do that, but now they know Urza Saga constructs are not necessarily a win condition. This hand is close. I think if this is Prismatic Ending, it's a lock. I have 19 lands and 2 Lorien Reveals in my deck. Force is here. All right, I'm going to try this. It clearly has a giant weakness, which is no blue mana. Come on, deck. All right, that helps. Next draw is a big one. Urza Saga just got worse. Defense Grid. A card that I was prepared for, but not happy to see. I'm going to Force of Negate that, because they do play creatures that I care about a little bit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. One of the cool things here, though, is that Wrath of the Skies for 0 does clean up most of an Urza Saga. I actually hope they do play Fleshraker, because that's something I can Swords to Plowshares cleanly. Manifold Key. These aren't my fights. I want them to run out of cards in their hand. Another key. 2 cards left. Making a construct right now with their floating mana. Leaves Grim Monolith up. Okay. Alright, deck. We need a land right now, please. It's time. Make it happen. Yikes. Alright. Swords to Plowshares kills this construct. Probably coulda, shoulda just done it in the end step, honestly. I was hoping for more. I am going to let them make the second construct, though. And tutor. Like, if they get something like Lava Spur Boots, I want to be able to punish that more than I care about them gaining 1 or 2 extra life off the plow. Definitely should have plowed in the end step, though. But I didn't have the second plow at the time, maybe. I don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Candelabra, okay. That's a lot of mana. But they already had a lot of mana. That doesn't really change my life. It would have changed my life a moment ago if they had made significantly more constructs out of it. The One Ring, okay. Force of Will, pitching one of these Harbinger of the Seas. And now 2 cards left. The next thing they play is going to be a good one. They still have mana to spend. Still have cards to play. They're doing Candelabra stuff now. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Okay, plow this. Please pass the turn. Don't have another banger. Okay, they passed. Deck, come on, blue source. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. What do I do now? I can just brainstorm with what I have. I would have to get Tundra to turn on Wrath of the Skies. Yeah, I'm going to get Tundra and cast Brainstorm right now. Tundra, Brainstorm. Please third land, please third land. Okay, Lorien Reveal counts as third land. I'm going to put back this Narset. Is it Narset Harbinger? They have, after I Wrath, they will have 3, 4, 5, 6. That's still a lot. Narset might still be important here. The construct's going to die to the Wrath anyway. I can just take my beats for a turn on that one. Okay, Plow goes back. And Harbinger, Plow Harbinger. Okay. Fingers crossed that we survive another turn. They could have jammed something that costs up to, what, like 6, 9, 11 mana last turn, and they didn't do it. Maybe just don't have it. Play another Urza Saga and pass the turn. Grim Monolith. We're just attacking for 6, okay. I go to 12. I'm going to cycle Lorien Revealed for Tropical Island. Big draws. Consign to Memory. I would love to take these Grim Monoliths out with the trash, because that would knock them off Metalcraft. That would take not just the 6 mana this represents, but also Metalcraft away from them. I'm going to do it. I'm going to brainstorm here and see if I find another land, and really hope that I do. Wasteland Uro Null Rod. Wow. Okay. I did find the other land. Uro goes in the back pocket here. This is the last card in this sequence that I'm going to deploy. Null Rod does die to my own Wrath of the Skies. Okay, Uro Null Rod, go back. All right. I am going to go to 6, maybe less if they draw an artifact. But I now have a counterspell and can get myself to knock them down to just 2 mana in play. and they didn't make any plays the last 2 turns when the coast was clear. I would love if they just play out like another Key or a Pithing Needle, an Urza Saga, just something else that dies to Wrath. Planar Nexus does not die to Wrath. 3 in the pool. Using Candelabra to put more in the pool. 8 mana. 11 mana. Uh-oh. I hope this is not uncounterable, whatever it is. They're going all the way in. Well, they drew something big. If they pass the turn with their monoliths tapped, I could actually just wipe out the Keys and wasteland them and not go for 2. Like if I'm worried about the workshop. We'll just see what happens here. Kozilek's Command. Target player scries X. Target player creates X donkeys. Okay, so they can have 2 cards in their hand. These are not artifacts, they're just donkeys. They die to the Wrath. This is a big dig into their deck, but I can counter the next thing. Scries X. They could set up multiple draw steps, though. I am choosing to fight here. If they have baited me and have some game-winning spell as the last in their hand, they got me, but I think that was too good. Yeah, the Scry X is the part of that I was worried about. I'm not worried about what they draw right now, because I'm pretty sure the card in their hand is not good. Okay. Time to tap out 1 time, and then hope the game is still playable when we get to my turn. This knocks them down to 3 mana to play with. A card in their hand we're pretty sure is not good. And the top of their deck. Most of the scary things happen at 4 mana. Something's happening. 3 mana in the pool. Fleshraker is probably the best thing they could do here. I'm going to play Uro, leaving up Wasteland. Uro trigger, hits Forest. Do I Wasteland them or do I play Null Rod? I think I play Null Rod. The Fleshraker is the card in their deck that can beat Null Rod, but the life gain off Uro matters here. I need to find a blue or green source to get Uro into play, and then we can claim stability. 4 mana, this is where scary shit happens. Please don't have Karn. The One Ring's fine. Oh no, mana's being tapped. Mystic Forge. That one is good. It is worse than Karn, but better than the One Ring. They could still look at and play cards from the top of their deck, even if they can't clear them. If I could clear Fleshraker, I'll feel a lot better. Right, come on, removal spell. Force of Will. Yikes. Okay, I'm going to cast Narset, leaving up white. So I'm digging for a plow. I've used all my plows. There's no plows left in the deck, I think. Was that this game? That might have been last game. I have no memory. Wrath of the Skies, very good next turn. Okay. I am going to Wasteland Urza's Workshop. Or no, I need 3 mana to kill Fleshraker. Okay. I'm going to pass the turn and hope they don't cast 4 spells right now. This is going to be a tight one. Just have a land on top of your deck and attack and pass the turn. That's what we need. They're attacking me. Mana's being spent. The second Fleshraker. Okay. This puts me to 2. And if they have a card on top of their deck they can cast, I'm dead. Land on top of the deck, pass the turn. Land on top of the deck, pass the turn. No! No! They tapped their mana, then they untapped it. They're messing with me. Just pass the turn. Come on. Yeah, literally anything here. That'll do. Okay. Disappointing. I mean, I kept the basic Blades. I think if this Blades in my opening hand is literally any blue source, the game is trivial. Just a laugher to the end. We also just failed a force check game 1, which so that's just a variance in the other direction. Yeah, this was definitely winnable and ran pretty good at the end while my life total was low. I didn't have enough blue and green to put Uro into play, which is a concern. The Wrath of the Skies was really close. Took me a long time to jockey into that. I could have shoved it a turn earlier, saved 6 life. I could have also plowed the construct earlier. Like if I have just 6 more life here, maybe the game is different, but also maybe my Wrath of the Skies isn't as good. Yeah, this was really close. If this Narset just hits Swords to Plowshares or like a blue card. I don't know if a blue card helps though. It gets me a little closer, but then I'm hellbent. I don't know. It was really tight and came down to a lot of thin margins. but I don't feel horrendous about this matchup, which is the important part. On to the final round.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
On the play for the final round, positive records locked. Playing for the bread and butter 4-1. Trophy slipped away last round. But I have a hand that has mana and some stuff to do. I'm in. The Lorien even insulates versus a Wasteland start. Ancient Tomb. Chalice of the Void on 1. How worried about this am I? I'm going to brainstorm and then decide. Well, there's Triumph of St. Catherine. I could put back Triumph. Yeah, I'm going to put back Triumph and Misty Rainforest. And then I'm going to let this Chalice resolve. I just found something bigger than what their deck probably does. This is either Eldrazi or Red Prison. And I just locked up a 5/5 beater with Force of Will still back. I can cycle Lorien into the Uro at some point. If they follow up with Wasteland, that would be tough. If they follow up with Blood Moon, I just force it. I don't quite know all of the things they do. I also just noticed their username is Brovaltine. That is like weirdly large number of the letters in my name. Okay, they did have exactly the worst thing they could have here for me. I'll cycle Lorien revealed, get a Tundra because I plan to fetch Hedge Maze now, and that is the bad news. The good news is I play cards that can answer a Chalice of the Void, and I play cards that can win through it. Ponder's not one of them. Finding the third land's going to be really important, and have not managed to do that yet. And this is the part of the game where the yahoos in my comments start screaming at me, if you had just forced that Chalice, you would have won so easily. You're so bad at Magic. What are you even doing? Well, you saw what I was doing. And this could have been Red Prison or any number of other things with the Chalice start. It could have been Eldrazi without a Wasteland to follow up. There's a lot of ways this game could have gone other than the way that it did. Thought Not Seer. This one is getting forced. I will delete Tamiyo for this. And now is a big moment to draw my third land. Especially if it hits my fourth land. Light from the Loam, count it. Alright. Quite happy with that. Misty Rainforest and pass. Now their follow-up is going to be really important. If they could start sowing Myco spawns at me, I will lose. Unclaimed territory. There's your colored mana. It's not quite Cavern of Souls, but it's good. Turns on the things it needs to turn on. They made white. Okay. That could have been anything. It didn't have to be white, but okay. I am not going to dredge loam here. Oh, dress downing in the Uro is big. Then it's just in play. What do I want to do about that? Because Uro is also just fine here. All right, I think gaining the Life of Dry the card is worth more to me than the 6/6 because of Kozilek's command. Gain 3 life. Do not dredge loam. Swords of Plowshares is almost good. And going back to the discussion about Chalice of the Void, yes, if I knew this is how the game would roll, I would have preferred to Force of Will the Chalice and had access to all my plows and brainstorms since then. But at that moment, where I had a plan to go over the top of anything they did, while also having force backup, patience is a virtue when you play decks like this. Life's giant misery here, though, is that Kozilek's command answers Uro in the graveyard, same as it does in play. My plan here is to fetch Mystic Sanctuary, get Force of Will back on top of my deck, then cast Uro, exiling my entire graveyard. We will see if I get to do that. Eldrazi Linebreaker. So this deals infinite damage. Not actually infinite, but it's a lot. And we now see that they're kind of an aggro Gruul version of this. So I go to 13. Then I cast Uro and die. Perfect. Or I take 13, not go to 13. I will draw for turn. Shark Typhoon, little late to the party. Mystic Sanctuary, target Force of Will that I can't cast right now. Okay, and we're dead. Maybe I'm not supposed to show the Mystic Sanctuary in that world. Alright, just dead. Hindsight 2020. Harbinger of the Seas comes in, Consigned to Memory comes in. This is a matchup that I thought about heavily while thinking about how I was going to play control in this format. Teferi's not that good here. Force of Negation, not that good here. Consign's great. The things that answer Chalice are great. Force of Vigor is awkward because it does answer Chalice, but not really anything else they do. I don't think that's good enough. Dress Down doesn't actually stop their deck from functioning because it's all triggers. It does zoot the Uro in early, but Consign can do that too. Tamiyo might be too slow here, or Tamiyo or Ponder. I think I'm going to cut a Tamiyo and just keep the Ponders in as more access to things like Consign and Harbinger. This hand has Wasteland, Wrath of the Skies, Force Blue card. I will keep this. I think this is enough to build a plan out of. Leyline of the Void, interesting. Okay. That turns off Uro unless I shock it in, or dress down it in, stifle it in, whatever it in. Ancient Tomb. Okay. I'm still not forcing that. You can't make me do it. I could just wasteland this Ancient Tomb, try to screw them. I think I will. They kept a hand with Leyline of the Void and Chalice of the Void. Void theme deck. How good is their follow-up? Harbinger, perfect. I have to... No, I don't, because one of them turns into an island anyway. Scoreboard. I was about to say I have to decide what basics I want access to, but nope. I get Plains, Forest, any dual land, play Harbinger. I just need to survive this turn. Wasteland, that means... Okay. I think this guy's okay. Wasteland means I can fetch Hedge Maze for a little selection on the way through here. Hedge Maze, backup Harbinger, put that on top. I'll be able to cast it someday. Oh, wait. That is not how this card works. I need double blue. Okay, so I'm going to prioritize... No, I was right the first time. I'm going to prioritize white. Okay. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. I'm going to get Tundra and Basic Plains, and then play Harbinger of the Seas. And I hope that this Harbinger and this Harbinger, or just the next land I draw, because I have a fourth land here. The fifth land could just cast Triumph. If this game grinds into goop, then 5 mana is completely accessible. They would need a basic land or Dismember to continue playing here. The Ponder that I can't cast, that's fine. That lets me cycle Lorien. I'll get Trop, play another Harbinger, and I still have Force Blue card up, and next turn, or next land, represents Kath. I'm not going to offer a trade. If they have Dismember to get out of this, I'm going to make them have 2. I'm not going to just give it to them for a Grizzly Bear they don't care about. Okay, there's land number 5. And I will just cash it in. The Triumph, I believe, is more important than casting Lorien Revealed, maybe. Lotus Petal. That is a color. They could cast a Mycospawn here and tutor Waste. Okay, here we go. It might just be right back in this. Yeah, that sucks. But I am prepared to cast my 5/5 Lifelink, which I hope can just beat their deck. Now they're ready to attack. Here's this. The Leyline actually does matter a lot versus Triumph, because if they just set up a double block, then my Triumph is not coming back. Wastegate Battle Mage with Kicker. Okay, so they're going to bounce my Triumph. This doesn't really change anything. Now I am willing to trade for a 2/2. That makes their whole squad smaller. And if I get to double white, I have more options open up. Like I can clear the whole board, including the Chalice, and then just play Magic. Gaia's Cradle. This is 5 mana. One of it's colorless. Okay, do I want to trade Triumph for their board? Who does that favor? I will see if they want to have that conversation. Seems that they do. Okay, and we are back to me being ahead, but barely. Okay, they just passed the turn. That's good. And let's start getting in there. They can't cast Kozilek's Command or Devourer of Destiny or any of those things that cost double colorless. Funny enough here, if my Harbinger dies, my whole hand unlocks, which might favor me, no matter what they're doing. I wonder if I was supposed to Force of Will the Lotus Petal earlier. That would have stopped the thing from happening. There's 4 mana in the pool. If they use a Battle Mage to bounce my Harbinger, that gives me a turn with my mana, and then I redeploy Harbinger, which might be even better. Yeah, this actually kind of rules for me. They can Wasteland here, but I don't care. And they never got to name anything with this Cavern. So I can counter whatever. Yeah, you don't actually get colored mana off this. It has no creature type named. Okay, they are going to scry 0, draw a card, and make 0 spawns. Oh no, this is for 2 because they have Eye. Those will all die to the Wrath of the Skies I'm going to cast anyway. They do get the card selection, but that is secondary to me stabilizing the board. I have exactly enough mana to kill their Battle Mage and replay Harbinger. And killing the Battle Mage takes Chalice with it. They found Eldrazi Temple, top to the Scries. They're going again. Make 2 jerks, scry 2. Topped again. Thought-Knot Seer. This one I do have to interact with. I will counter that and hope they don't have another Thought-Knot Seer in their hand. Okay. I go to my turn, draw, fetch basic forest, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Wrath for 2. I could do it for 4 to take out the ley line, but I'm way less worried about that than I am getting my hooks back in. Those are gone. Now I can ponder and plow again. Shields are down though. 3 Chalice. Yep, that's good. And Herald. Okay, I need one of my other cards now. Consign, I am always happy to see. I am winning the damage race. If Herald is all they have. And they're just passing back. Triumph of St. Catherine, trigger, let's go. Here she is. The plan from turn 1. Still relevant now. Now we've got a body. We just went from tenuously stable to way ahead. Fleshraker. I don't believe I want to play against this card. I need to replicate Consign, because Chalice will counter the first copy. Funny enough, I could also replicate to counter the Chalice trigger. Replicate is just fun because it plows through Chalice by design. Okay, now we've seen Leyline in addition to Chalice. Teferi is another card that's really good under Harbinger of the Seas. I could even do stuff like bounce my own Harbingers, cast spells for a turn, redeploy it. Okay, Tamiyo on the draw, I think way too slow. Ponder on the draw might be too slow as well. And do I want this dress down? It was only in there to sneak out an Uro, which would have been a really good play that game. But is that how I'm going to play and win this game? Maybe I don't need 2 Teferis, just 1, just a little extra. And I can keep the dress down line. Okay, let's go. Force of Will, Loam, 2 Uros. Okay, this hand is pretty weak to Leyline of the Void, but fine elsewhere. It's strong against Chalice. If I draw Wasteland here, I'm just doing a victory lap. Forest, alright. Flooded Strand, pass. Thought-Knot Seer. I'm going to force pitching one of the Uros. I don't need this many of those. And I think here I get Hedge Maze, dump Flooded Strand, Misty Rainforest. I can fetch Basic Island and then cast Loam and have a grip full of gas. Basic Island, Loam for 3. If they have another Thought-Knot Seer to strip this Uro, I am very quickly not doing much. I'm not going to get Wastelanded out of this game, though. I could just get out-muscled, though. That could definitely happen. The Territory. Oh, here we go. Time to kick a Sowing Mycospawn. An interaction that no control deck can ever beat. Yep, cool. Remember when I had 2 lands on turn 2, and now I have 0 lands, and there's nothing that conventional interaction could do against this? Cool. Yeah. Good card. In my ban conversations and updates and stuff on the podcast and my own video, I mentioned Sowing Mycospawn as a card that could definitely be banned, and this is why. And I had at least one jackass in my comments talking about me, air quotes, crying about a 6-drop. This is turn 3. This is not a 6-drop in any conventional sense. Every land they play taps for 2. And trying to play Magic against a card like this is not possible for decks that want to play more than 3 turns of a game. We'll see if I can come back from this, but, you know, what the fuck. Even if I had Force of Will or Daze or any of the interaction that the format's built around, would have been not close to useful there. Thought Not Seer took my Harbinger. I think Uro's better than Harbinger here anyway. My basic forest, or my basic islands in exile, that's the least important basic. They have their wastes. 2 cards left. Are they bangers? There's also a 3/3. I don't think this card would be fair as a 1/1, but it also just wins the game very quickly. Oh yeah. Played around it by not having any lands from the first one. Got your ass. But now I'm on a 1-turn clock. I get this draw and my next draw. If that was Terminus, I'd actually be stable. If we're talking about future worlds that don't actually exist in the world we're currently in. Swords to Plowshares would have been good there as well. Enough to maybe buy another draw step. If I was playing with Tune the Narrative, something that could charge up energy more fairly, that's something that could happen here. They have a Wasteland. Is there an out in my deck? It's certainly not that. Okay, if I play Uro, I have to fetch down to 2. I Uro up to 5. Even if I hit Plow and take out Thought Not Seer, I'm still just dead. If I hit Consign to Memory, that's the same. I would just be keeping Uro to block Thought Not instead of removing it. Plow targeting Uro would take me to 11. Okay, I guess I technically have an out. I don't know what the game looks like after that point, but there is technically a draw here that would allow me to see another turn. Uro, trigger, and we're dead. Sweet. Positive record. Started off really strong, and then Mystic Forge, I think, was close. I don't think that's unreasonable anymore. You can interact in normal ways, plus we have Consign to Memory. That one, we don't need to relitigate what happened that match. Like, I kept a hand with just basic plays for mana, and then didn't hit a land drop till turn 4, and they still just got over the finish line. I think that matchup's fine. I think that deck has been brought into line with normal Magic. And then, Sowing Mycospawn. How about uncounterable, exile all of your lands on turn 3? Were you on the draw? Guess you're dead. Cool. Yeah, that card is horseshit, and if you're going to do anything at this speed in the format, you have to have a big plan. And like, I'm main decking a Consign. I have 2 Harbingers and 2 more Consigns in the sideboard. I'm main decking 2 Wastelands with Loam to loop them. I did what I could against that. Still crushed me in the match where it mattered. Triumph of St. Catherine, pretty solid in spots like that. If you're going to have to play on 2 lands, because that's the speed of the Stompy decks in the format, then Triumph is something you could rock with. And like I said at the start, you could just make this a Beanstalk deck. Go down to 1 or 0 Uros, turn your Prismatic Endings into Leyline Bindings, turn Wrath of the Skies into Terminus, add some Beanstalks, change the mana so it can support Domain. And then this deck becomes different and maybe better, maybe just different. Shark Typhoon didn't hold up the way I had hoped in this league. That could definitely just be something else. I'm going to leave this here. It was fun to get back into the control seat. I'm glad we got to play against Reanimator, Mystic Forge, and Eldrazi in the league, showcasing both the good nerfs that the recent ban update did and showcase one of the, in my opinion, giant misses that the ban update did not touch or even mention. But there it is, Ban Control from Mo. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.